Hey, gossip aficionados! Welcome back to another thrilling dive into the world of political drama. Today, we are putting the spotlight on J.D. Vance, who was recently picked by Trump to be his running mate as vice president. While many are buzzing about this surprising choice, we are here to spill the tea on J.D. Vance's biggest scandals. From questionable financial ties to his personal life and his flip-flopping political stances, we've got it all. Let's jump right into the three biggest J.D. Vance scandals that are making waves among Trump conservatives.
Okay with it. Let's have the celebration in the White House.
First up, we have J.D. Vance's deep and controversial connections to AIPAC, American Israel Public Affairs Committee. For those who might not know, AIPAC is one of the most powerful pro-Israel lobbying groups in America, known for its influence on U.S. foreign policy. Vance's cozy relationship with AIPAC has raised eyebrows, especially among those who see his foreign policy stances as a betrayal of America First principles. Vance has been accused of taking significant campaign contributions from AIPAC, which many believe influences his hawkish stance on Middle Eastern policies.
Which the problem with that is it's not.
Let's talk numbers. Reports suggest that J.D. Vance's campaign received over $167,000 from AIPAC-affiliated donors during his Senate run. This kind of financial support isn't just generous, it's a clear indication of where Vance's loyalties might lie. This money has helped fuel his campaigns and has given him a platform to advocate for policies that align with AIPAC's interests, rather than those of the average American voter. J.D. Vance's association with AIPAC has made him a vocal supporter of aggressive policies towards Palestine. His speeches and public statements often align with AIPAC's agenda, advocating for increased military aid to Israel and harsh measures against Palestinian territories. This war hawk mentality is seen as a clear pandering to his donors, prioritizing their interests over a balanced and fair approach to the Middle East. For many conservatives who prioritize American interests over foreign entanglements, this is a significant red flag. The financial ties between Vance and AIPAC go deep. During his 2022 Senate campaign, Vance attended multiple AIPAC-sponsored events and received endorsements from prominent pro-Israel figures. His stance on the Israel-Palestine conflict has been heavily influenced by these connections, leading him to support legislation that critics argue further entrenches the occupation of Palestinian lands. This kind of influence is precisely what the America First movement seeks to eliminate, as it undermines national sovereignty and priorities. Moreover, Vance's hawkish rhetoric and support for policies that could lead to further conflict in the Middle East are at odds with the more restrained and pragmatic approach favored by many Trump conservatives. Instead of focusing on domestic issues and reducing foreign interventions, Vance seems intent on maintaining a status quo that benefits a select few at the expense of broader American interests. This makes his candidacy a point of contention for those who believed in Trump's initial promise to avoid unnecessary foreign conflicts. In the future, we need to move past candidates like J.D. Vance and look towards leaders who truly embody America First principles, such as Nick Fuentes. Fuentes would prioritize American interests and focus on reducing foreign entanglements. His policies would include cutting off excessive foreign aid, focusing on national security without unnecessary foreign wars, and ensuring that American resources are spent at home to benefit American citizens.
The time has come, and America First, the time has come now.
Next on the list is the scandal surrounding J.D. Vance's interracial marriage. Vance is married to Usha Vance, an Indian-American woman, which makes him a literal race mixer. His marriage has become a point of contention among certain segments of the conservative base. For some right-wing Trump conservatives, Vance's marriage to an Indian woman is seen as an abandonment of traditional values and a rejection of cultural homogeneity. Vance's interracial marriage has been portrayed by some as a sign of his broader liberal leanings. Critics argue that his personal life reflects a more globalist and multicultural viewpoint, which is at odds with the nationalist and traditionalist values that many in the America First movement hold dear. This perspective sees Vance as someone who does not fully embrace the cultural and racial identity that they believe should be preserved in America.
Or giving interviews.
The controversy also touches on concerns about assimilation and cultural integrity. Vance's marriage is seen by some as an indication that he might support policies that promote multiculturalism and diversity over the preservation of traditional American culture. This stance is in direct conflict with the more conservative, America First ideology that emphasizes maintaining a unified national identity and resisting the pressures of globalization. Furthermore, Vance's personal life is often used as a lens through which his political decisions are scrutinized. Critics argue that his marriage reflects a broader willingness to compromise on issues of cultural significance, suggesting that he might be more inclined to support immigration policies that dilute American cultural identity. This is a stark contrast to the America First movement, which advocates for strict immigration controls and a focus on preserving traditional American values. Despite his public embrace of conservative principles, some critics argue that Vance's personal life undermines his credibility as a standard-bearer for the America First movement. For instance, during the 2022 campaign, Vance spoke about the importance of family values and preserving American culture, yet his personal choices have led some to question his commitment to these ideals. This perceived inconsistency has left many conservatives feeling betrayed. In contrast, leaders like Nick Fuentes would prioritize policies that reinforce traditional cultural values and resist the pressures of globalist ideologies. Fuentes advocates for a stronger national identity, stricter immigration controls, and policies that emphasize cultural cohesion. By focusing on preserving the cultural and social fabric of America, Fuentes represents a clear alternative to the more liberal tendencies seen in candidates like J.D. Vance.
What does the American dream mean?
Lastly, let's delve into J.D. Vance's notorious flip-flopping on his support for Donald Trump. Before becoming a prominent figure in Trump's inner circle and eventually his running mate, Vance was one of Trump's harshest critics. He publicly denounced Trump during the 2016 election, calling him various derogatory names and questioning his fitness for office. This history of criticism has made his recent embrace of Trump seem opportunistic and insincere to many loyal Trump supporters. Vance's past criticisms of Trump are well documented. In 2016, he referred to Trump as America's Hitler and stated that he couldn't vote for someone who makes people I care about scared. These comments are a stark contrast to his current persona as a staunch Trump ally. Many conservatives see this as a blatant attempt to curry favor with Trump and his supporters in order to advance his own political career. This perceived lack of genuine support has made Vance a controversial figure among true Trump loyalists. The turnaround in Vance's stance on Trump raises serious questions about his integrity and motivations. Critics argue that his sudden support for Trump is not based on a genuine change of heart, but rather on political expediency. They suggest that Vance recognized the influence of Trump's base and decided to align himself with the president to secure a powerful position. This kind of opportunism is viewed with deep suspicion and disdain by those who value loyalty and consistency. Moreover, Vance's opportunistic shift has undermined his credibility. How can someone who once vehemently opposed Trump now stand as his running mate without appearing hypocritical? This flip-flopping has made many conservatives wary of Vance's true intentions and whether he can be trusted to uphold the principles that Trump's base holds dear.
I came around to Donald Trump, and I think that a lot of
In contrast, Nick Fuentes has remained consistent in his support for America First principles. Fuentes has never wavered in his stance on key issues and has always been a vocal supporter of Trump. His unwavering commitment to conservative values and his refusal to compromise for political gain make him a more reliable and trustworthy figure for the future. Fuentes' policies would include strict immigration controls, a strong national identity, and a focus on America's interests above all else. There you have it, folks. The top 3 scandals that highlight J.D. Vance's questionable actions, and why they are a cause for concern among right-wing Trump conservatives. From his ties to AIPAC and his personal life to his opportunistic political flip-flopping, Vance's actions have raised serious questions about his loyalty and principles. Stay tuned for more juicy gossip, and remember to always scrutinize the motives behind political figures.
To the people of Middletown, Ohio, and all the forgotten communities.
I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, as I will continue posting only the best celebrity and KPOP content.
Where he came from.
This was Watch Wave, and until next time, have a good one.